Welcome to math class. We are continuing on with chapter 2 in the MathWorks 10 workbook. We are moving on to section 2.3, additional earnings. This is a lot of things like bonuses, tips are big on this, that kind of thing. We're going to be basically figuring out if you work a normal working schedule and then you do something special like you work a shift premium or that kind of thing, how much extra money are you going to earn? So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to look at the example on page 98. So on page 98, we are talking about a fella named Chester who has a car lot. So he is giving out bonuses to his employees of 50 bucks, 40 bucks, 30, or 25, depending on how expensive the car is that they sell. So Jerry over here, he sold a car for $14,895 for $19,998, $15,675, $72.50, and $15,229. So what we have to do is we have to look at each of these and figure out which category these cars fit into. Now I'm not going to copy the whole thing out here. You should be able to follow along in your textbook. But what they're doing is 50 bucks is for cars that are more than $20,000. Okay? So what we're looking at is if there's a car more than 20K. We don't have a single car that is more than 20K. So we're not actually going to be adding any of those. We're going to be having 40 bucks for any car that's in between 15,000 and 19,000. Sorry, 19,999. So basically in between 15,000 and 20,000. Well, we happen to have 1, 2, 3 of those cars. So those are all worth 40 bucks. So we have 40 bonuses, we have a $40 bonus 3 times. For our $30 bonus over here, we are looking at for cars that are in between 10K and 14,999. So basically 10K and 15K. So we have one of those cars, and then our other car is actually lower than that. So we have $30 bonus times 1. And our very last car over here, the 7250, it goes, or sorry, not our very last car. We have a couple other ones. Or no, we have one. Sorry, yes, it is our last car. 7250. So our last bonus over here, $25, is for any car that is below 10K or less than 10K. We have exactly one of those, so we're going to have a $25 bonus times 1 car equals. Now we're going to figure out what all of these are. So we have 120 bucks here, we have $30 here, and we have $25 here. We're going to add all of those together. 120 plus 30 gives us 50, plus 25 gives us $175. Final answer. That was a relatively simple one. We were simply adding bonuses based off of the category that the cars fit into. Our next example is going to be very, very similar, only instead of our next example being based off of how many cars we sell, our example is actually going to be based off of a shift premium. So for example, think about working an overnight shift. It's not going to be easy to work an overnight shift, or sorry, to find an employee to work an overnight shift. Most people would prefer to work during the day rather than at night. Many, many people are going to prefer working over the day. So what employers will do is they will add a bonus to things like night shifts in order to encourage people to come and work them. So if we take a look at page 101, question number 4, we're looking at a fellow, sorry, actually not a fellow, a lady named Denise, who's working at a computer repair shop. So her boss offered her a shift premium of $1.75 per hour anytime after 5 p.m. in order, I'm guessing, to encourage people to stick around for their later hours. So based off of the hour or time card sheet that we're given here, we see that Denise on Monday, she works 9 to 5 for a total of 8 hours. She does not have any hours after 5 p.m. On Tuesday, she works from 2 till 8. This is 6 total hours, but she also has 3 hours of bonus. Wednesday, she works from 2 to 7. 1 hour less total, but she still has 2 hours in the shift premium after that. Thursday, she works from 12 to 8, which is a total of 8 hours. She also has a 3-hour bonus. 3 hours in the shift premium. And then on Saturday, she works from 9 until 3, which is a total of 6 hours. And as they notice on here, all Saturdays are going to be shift premium, so all 6 of those hours are going to count towards the shift premium. We know that the shift premium is $1.75 per hour, so we want to know how many hours in total. So we're just going to add all of those together. 3 plus 2 plus 3 plus 6. So we get 5 plus 8 plus 6. We get 14 hours. Times our shift premium, 1.75, gives us a total of 2450. Oop, I'm going to cross that out. 2450. Running out of room on the side over here. So that is her overtime hours. However, she's not just making $24.50 for her week's worth of work here. What we actually have to do here is we have to add up how much her normal hours are as well. So we see that she has all of these hours for her normal wage. So 8 plus 6 plus 5 plus 8 plus 6. So we're going to add all of these together. 8 plus 6 is 14, plus 5 is 19, plus 8 is 27, plus 6 gives us 33 hours. So she actually works 33 hours at her normal rate, which we know is $15.25 per hour. So you know that 33 times 15.25 is $503.25 with our extra bonus of $24.50. So if we want to know how much Denise is making that week, we have to add it all together. Oh, I forgot about the bouncy thing. That'll sit down there. So 503 plus 2450 gives us a final answer, 527.75. Final answer. Once again, you can see that we are going step by step by step by step by step until we get a final answer. Math class can be frustrating sometimes, but all we have to do is break it down into a series of manageable steps. We've done multiplication before. We've done addition before. We've done addition as well. More multiplication and more addition. These are all skills we possess. We just have to figure out how to do them in the right order and at which numbers we are going to be using. So let's go ahead and move on to the next example. Page 103, question 7. So now we're getting into a percent based off of a wage. We are dealing with tips. If you ever plan on working in the service industry, you're going to want to get used to doing this math. I've probably calculated out my tips and my percentages easily thousands and thousands and thousands of times after working as a bartender and a server. So what we're looking at is Kirsten. Kirsten earns a base salary of $8.20 per hour. She also makes tips. Now, tips are calculated based off of how much all of her customers ordered throughout her shift. So she averages about $950 total for all of her customers in a day. We also know that her average tip at the end of the day winds up being 15%. What this is saying, not often is she going to have customers who walk in with a $950 bill. But if she's got customers all day long and she's got 50 here and 60 there and 70 there and 30 here, if all those add up, they'll get to 950. Each time, let's say that $50 bill goes and settles up, they are going to tip. Now, they might not always tip the same amount. It might be 10% of the bill, might be 15% of the bill, might be 20, might be 0. But what we do know is generally, on average, she gets about 15% of whatever she sold, she takes home in tips. If you're ever paying for something at a restaurant and you'll see tip options, you'll often see amount to pay as a percentage or to pay as cash. Okay. Often if you do the percentage, they'll have 10, 15, 20, or even 30 if they're super crazy percent. What these will do is you press that button, it automatically calculates what 10% of your bill would be, and it adds it as a tip. Just so you understand a little bit about how that works. So when they were doing these word problems, you actually understand what they're asking you for. So the way we figure this out is we're going to figure out how much money Kirsten made on that day. So the first thing we're going to start with is her hourly wage. So we know she makes $8.20 an hour, and we know she's working 8 hours that day. So 8 hours times $8.20 is going to give us $65.60 of regular pay. Now we need to figure out what 15% of 950 is. This is a skill we've done before many times as well. So we need to convert 15 into a decimal. So I'm going to divide this by 100 and I get 0.15. I multiply that by our bill from before, $950, and I equal $142.50. So you can see, and this is not uncommon, that more often than not in the service industry, you're going to be making much more money off of your tips than you are off of the paycheck that you're going to be getting at the end of every week. So it's important to be able to figure out exactly how much or roughly how much you're making. So what we want to do then is 142.50 plus 65.60, and that's going to give us $208.10. There are a couple of these example questions that are going to be asking you to use bonuses that use percentages. It doesn't matter if it's tips in a restaurant or if it's bonuses on car sales. If they give you a percentage, you can figure out how much it is by the same way. You convert your percentage to a decimal by dividing by 100. Then you're going to multiply that by whatever total you have, and it's going to tell you how much of that money is a percentage. So for instance, we go back up here. We have to figure out what 15% of 950 is. So we divided by 100, we converted it to a decimal, we multiplied it by the total, and we figured out how much 15% of 950 was. Once again, I'm sure you're going to get sick of hearing it, but we're doing little steps with all the skills we know. We're just combining it in order to answer a more difficult question. That's all for today. See you in class soon.